So it's finally here. The 2022 Women's Six Nations kicks off tomorrow, and I'm as excited as I've ever been for it. I've obviously been playing fantasy for a few years now, but this seems a lot more hyped, with the Women's Six Nations social media channels really hyping it up and talking a lot about the fantasy rugby side. It's a great way to get people involved in the sport and also to just have a bit of fun. So let's see who I've picked for round 1 of the Six Nations. So in the front row, I've gone with 2 Italians in Tunezi and Bettoni, and 1 English in Lark Davis. Now, my reasoning behind the 2 Italian picks is because they're not actually props. I'm not sure how this mistake has been made. If you search for Italian props, then basically the whole team just pops up. I think there's about 9 players. Tunezi is playing in the second row this weekend, which isn't a great position either for fantasy points, but I thought to take the punt as it's a bit of fun. And Bettoni is actually starting at hooker, so I'm hoping for some robust carrying and potentially a driving line-out maul. Who knows? The hookers didn't really pay off for me in the Men's Six Nations. And someone who can definitely change that is Lark Davis, who certainly has the eye for the try line. With England being reigning champions as well, I expect them to get off to a great start in the first game. So I think that's actually a pretty decent front row. In the second row, I've gone with Gwen Crabb and Nicola Friday. Now, Friday is of course Ireland's captain, so I'm putting some faith in her. We all know that the second rows don't get too many points, but I am backing her to lead from the front. And I do expect an Irish win as well. And as for Crabb, well, to be honest, I just needed to fill the position as I used my other teams, like England, Ireland and France. And it turns out she actually shares the same birthday as me, so I'm definitely rooted for her this weekend. What a funny coincidence, but not funny enough to make her my captain though, just yet. In the back row, I've stuck with the best players from last year's tournament in Cleo, Wall and Gross. All these players are stars for their teams and can have such a big impact. Wall and Gross are both starting at 8, whereas Cleo has started at 8 before, but she actually starts at 6 this weekend. So I'm expecting a lot of carries from these 3 women, and I don't think I'll be disappointed with any of them. It's maybe even a shout to have one of them as your captain if you're feeling a bit risky, but I think I'm just going to play it safe for this weekend. At halfbacks, I've gone with Bevan from Wales and Drouin from France. Both sides will look to play when they get the ball in hand, and it will be the halfbacks who are key to this. As I'm relatively new to the women's game, I'm not sure if there's a halfback I should have in the side all the time, like a Dupont or a Marcus Smith. If you guys have any recommendations for me, then leave them down below in the comments. But I think I'm going alright with these 2 picks. In the centres, I've gone big, and the best 2 centres from last year in Scarrett and Vernier. We all know what Emily Scarrett is about. She was World Player of the Year, so it would be rude not to pick her. And I think making her my captain is a pretty safe bet as well. She's bound to kick for England, giving her a little more extra points. I'm not expecting her to go and score 3 tries like a winger maybe could, but she'll do a solid job, and that's why she's my captain for week 1. And as for Vernier, her defence is so solid, and she's a key part of that French side. She can also carry really hard and well, so once again she'll do a job for me, and hopefully we can see a try from either one of them. In the back 3, I've picked Castal, Considine and Dow. I wanted to cover all of the teams I thought will win this weekend, and that's France, Ireland and England. So by taking one from each nation, I have a decent chance of a return, especially as this women's game is pretty expansive, and with the weather being so nice at the moment, I'm hoping for lots of running meters. There's not really a team expected to lose every game in this tournament, like Italy might have been in the men's, so I'm not targeting players that way. Instead, there are definitely stronger teams than others, and these 3 are definitely up there. And then finally on the bench, I've got only 2 players because I did actually run out of budget. I've gone with the Welsh winger in Newman and Irish winger in Parsons as my super sub. I remember Parsons from last year and she is a real try scoring threat. I'm super shocked that she isn't actually starting the game, but hopefully she can come on and absolutely have a stormer of a game. Triple points remember, so fingers crossed here. So that's the end of my team selection video. If you enjoyed, then please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we can get some more new faces to join the channel as the Women's Six Nations kicks off. So good luck to you all for this weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.